Here we have the Dell Inspiron 5490 24-inch all-in-one. This thing is pretty damn cool. It is so cool that you can go to the club and kind of head bob with it. Let's start with a quick rundown of the specs of the Dell Inspiron 5490. This computer, as configured, starts at $1,099. That is $1,099 in layman's terms, which may seem like a lot of money for a 24-inch all-in-one computer, but there's a lot going on this thing. To start with, it has the 10th generation i7 processor. It has a 512 gigabyte NVMe drive, and it has 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. Where it gets lost a little bit is that it only comes with the Intel UHD Graphics card, and you'd kind of assume that with all of that horsepower in this machine that they might give you something a little bit more serious, but I'm going to dive into that here in just a moment. Let's start with the 24-inch screen, because that's what you're, of course, going to be looking at most of the time. First off, it tilts in a very unique way. Most all-in-ones come with a hinge kind of in the center. This comes with like two little feet on the side, but this one lets you tilt it, frankly, a pretty large amount. It is a 24-inch LED edge-to-edge screen. I'm not super impressed with the panel. It is full high definition, so you've got nice, crisp, everything kind of like looks good and smooth, but the blacks are a little bit washed out by the backlight, and it kind of looks a little bit like the monitor has been calibrated on the cooler side. Now, in terms of the temperature of the LCD panel, you can of course adjust that and color calibrate it and that kind of things, but you're never going to resolve backlight bleed. And it's not severe, but it's worth noting that it is there. All in all, I kind of wish Dell would have focused a little bit better on the panel, especially considering the price tag that the computer is in. It does have touch capabilities, so for those looking for an all-in-one with touch capabilities, if that's your thing, then this one has it. Let's talk about another little nifty feature of the Dell Inspiron all-in-one. It has the camera recessed into the top of the machine. Now, a lot of Dells are doing this. Frankly, a lot of all-in-ones are doing this. But something that you'll notice, and I'll get a close-up here, but in this camera array here, you don't just have one camera, you have two, which is a very unique feature. This is actually one of the first times I've seen this kind of thing, and the camera quality is exceptional. Here is going to be some footage of the webcam now. This is the camera quality you can expect from the new Dell All-in-One. This is by far one of the best webcams we've tested in a while. So there you have it. The quality of the webcam is very good, and it should be for two lenses, and of course so is the microphone quality as well. The microphone quality is so good that you could even record your band's latest CD with it. Or cassette tape. The Dell Inspiron just looks like an aesthetically pleasing modern take on an all-in-one. You know, I do like the little double feet thing, even though it's it does require the desk space for it, of course, but you've got this nice kind of grilled speaker thing down here at the bottom, and it's got like this sort of soft cloth speaker cover on it. The speakers are okay. They get very loud and they're clear and crisp. There's not a whole lot of distortion. It definitely lacks in the bass area, and but the treble and the kind of the highs and the mids are pretty decent. Again, no distortion though, and you can get them pretty loud. So they are good speakers. They're not great speakers, but you're probably going to want a set of headphones if you're an audiophile. But that said, just the entire presentation of the machine just looks kind of clean and modern and just pleasant to look at. You wouldn't hate having this thing on your desk. At the bottom is how you turn it on. There is a little button right here that you press, and frankly, it took us a few minutes to try to find that button, but nevertheless, that is how you turn on your Dell Inspiron once you own it. This Dell Inspiron does come with a wireless keyboard and mouse. Here it is, there it is. And frankly, it should, because at that price tag, it's unacceptable to not include a wireless keyboard and mouse. In fact, pretty much every computer, even the cheap ones, should come with a wireless keyboard and mouse. They don't, but they should. It comes with Bluetooth 5.0, wireless AC. The computer is very quiet when it runs, so in day-to-day operations, when you're not really doing a whole lot other than maybe like email and internet and this sort of thing, you're not really going to be able to hear the computer run. And I really like that with modern all-in-ones, that they're very quiet, they don't make a lot of noise, and I think for people that are just kind of keeping the computer running in the background, that's a great thing. This computer is fast, and it has the horsepower to prove it. Again, with the 10th generation i7 processor that this thing is equipped with, you'll be able to do most tasks such as audio processing, CAD work. You'll be able to edit Photoshop RAWs in it very well. You'd even be able to do a lot of video editing on this thing as well. With the 16 gigabytes of RAM and the i7 processor, you'll probably even be able to chunk out some 4K video editing if you needed to. Where it lacks in power, though, is the graphics card. It comes equipped with the Intel UHD. Now, the Intel UHD graphics processors are very good. They're not the old, crappy Intel graphics cards from several years ago. They're very capable, both in a little bit of gaming, and certainly in things like video processing, watching 4K video. That said, you'd think with a computer with all of this power in it, you'd think that they would have given you maybe one of the GeForce MX graphics cards or something like that, but they didn't. As a result, I think you'll be able to do some kind of light-level gaming on it, StarCraft 2, Fortnite, maybe even AAA titles at low to medium settings, that kind of thing. But it is a UHD graphics card. It's not dedicated like a GeForce or an AMD card. And I really think that Dell misstepped by not including a dedicated graphics card. That said, the rest of the computer is very fast and performs very well. Now let's talk input and output. First off, the input, I want to note one little cute thing. I really like this little touch right here. They put the word Inspiron on the little bar at the bottom there. And I thought that was kind of a cool little thing to do. But this has one of the most impressive input and outputs of any all-in-one I've seen in a very long time. Right here, you have where you put your power plug in. It needs power, people. It doesn't run off of solar energy. It has two HDMIs right here. One of them is also a throughput HDMI, so you can use it as a TV screen if you wanted to. It has a USB-C drive, thank you Dell, gigabit Ethernet, USB regular, 3 USB super speeds, and both input and output audio jack, and then a camera card reader. Now, we just got done reviewing one of the Acer all-in-ones, and it frankly lacked a lot of the input and output that this thing has. So I was very impressed when I turned this thing around and saw what it offers. It has a lot of holes you can put stuff in. Which leads to the curiosity that they gave you all of this input and output, stuff that frankly professional users might want to have, but yet they still gave you that Intel UHD graphics card. It doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense. So who is this all-in-one for? I really think that this is probably a computer tailor-made for photo editors in a way. Not only does it have, of course, the camera card, but it has all that horsepower to process things like Photoshop RAWs. Again, coming with a 512 gigabyte NVMe drive, it certainly has enough storage space to put things like RAWs or a lot of photographs. And of course, with the USB-C, you can get an external solid-state drive or an external hard drive that you can even process on, use as a scratch disk, pretty much whatever. So I really think that this is a very, very good all-in-one for, again, with the full high definition screen. This is a really good all-in-one for photo editors, really great for audio editors. Somebody that needs a very powerful all-in-one that doesn't have the desk space for a 27-inch unit, probably people that are working from home, professionals, CAD people. Who is this computer not for? This computer is not for nonprofits, probably. It's a little bit too expensive in that regard, unless you have a grant to get free supercomputers. This is really not for anybody looking for a cheap, kind of run-of-the-mill generic all-in-one. This thing really is pretty well loaded. I like it very much. There is one thing to note, though, is that in all of this power and quality that Dell has given you, the plastics are, by all accounts, a little bit on the cheap side. These feet, they're made of metal and they feel great and sturdy and awesome. And the rest of the plastics, though, they just feel slightly chintzy. Now, it is an all-in-one unit, so it's going to be sitting on your desk. It's not going to be getting a lot of torture or abuse, but you would still think, again, for that price tag, as soon as you start getting into computers that are about $1,000 and up, you kind of expect them to have maybe just a little bit of better, I don't know, just like a little bit of better materials. The iMac, for example, they're 21.5 inches made of aluminum. It could have also been a weight-saving thing. This thing weighs more than the 27-inch all-in-one from Acer that we just reviewed. And it's a computer that's, what's 27 minus 24? It's 3 inches less. The computer is also equipped with security features like Windows Hello, using the facial recognition in the built-in camera. And all in all, I would recommend this computer. It's fast, it looks good, it's very powerful, and I think anybody buying it is going to get a lot of good use for it. It's not cheap, but you do get what you pay for. Again, right, sitting at about the $1,100 price tag, you are getting a lot of stuff. Again, really the only thing it falls short on is probably the Intel UHD graphics card, but it's got super input-output. I don't know, just all in all, a very, very good machine. So yes, I do recommend it. I think anybody that gets it would be happy with it. And I think that pretty much wraps up our review of the Dell Inspiron. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us in the comments section. Please like and subscribe. We hope this video was helpful, and we'll be back with another YouTube video real soon.